Hi everyone, and welcome to another MagiNation video. What? That's right. The Kickstarter stuff finally came in for me. It's currently being distributed, but we got mine. So I got all my decks, one for each region. I got a box full of promos and stuff, and foils for the decks. Got myself one booster box. Didn't get the second one, but it's on my list. And we got, a very cool playmat. So we'll be going through the booster box here in just a minute. I'm not gonna go through the decks because their contents is fixed, but we will go through the promos and the foils because each deck has 2 random foils allocated to it. So we'll go through there. But yeah, just hold tight one sec and we'll get right into it. Alrighty, now that I'm back, everything's set up here, we can go ahead and get started. I've opened my extra promo box here, and this is something that we'll show off by the box itself here. So the box has, let's see if we can get the focus on it. There we go. These little tabs that say Animite on them. You can collect these and trade them in for promos, which is just a really neat way to make your packaging end up mattering a little bit more. So, and they've been doing that since the beginning of the game. So actually was able to redeem some Animite back when it was still an active game to get some promos, which was always really cool. And speaking of promos, let's see. We'll go with the stuff that everybody gets first. The namesake of the game, or at least the Game Boy game, has returned. So we have, instead of Tony Jones, Tony returned. Everybody gets one of these. Really, apparently powerful card. Power level is not my jam in this game. I am not good at it, but I'm trying to get better. And it helps to finally have copies of things like this. Come on. Focus. This is Rage's belt. Ragey? I always said Ragey growing up, but I think it's Rage. Oh, come on, camera. Oh well. Pretty much a super staple in this game that you need 2 to 3 of in any deck that wants to be serious, or a good reason to not run them. They started this, I don't know if it's a tradition, but they started making spells cards named after the expansions after a certain point. So the expansion that is being printed in the Kickstarter, there we go, is Trader's Reach. So here we go. We have Trader's Reach, the spell. I have Nightmare's Dawn and Voice of the Storm, and I've had those for years and years. And finally, we have a Braggle, which is a neat little like chameleon lizard guy who changes colors. You can also tell that everything in this printing has the 2 instead of a 1 up under the region symbol. And those are all promos, so those are called the limited rarity. I got some extra Magi. I just did a pick a promo. So we have Shadow Empress, Okwa, the Tracker, and Aura. And I got, let's see, I think this was like a promo bundle. I think all of these came together. We have Artemiles. I don't know. So sorry if I mispronounced that. Anastasia. Come on, show us the good art. Not going to cooperate. And Showdown. This. Like I said, all of the region decks are all fixed contents, and they were made in such a way that getting one of every deck gets you pretty much at least 1 copy of every card in the Trader's Reach expansion. And if you got, I think, 2 decks of every region, you have a full play set of the entire expansion. So I only got one of those, or one set of the 13 decks, but that comes with our foils. So right off the bat, they don't appear to be in what I consider the natural order of the regions, so we'll just go off the top. Let's see. We've got a Magi, Klin, and this shows off the new foiling. The original foils are very, very shiny. So these ones, kind of a more modern foil. I think they look really great. Yeah, super nice. Once again, amazing art. The art has always been one of the things that has drawn me to this game. Here we actually have a promo. So this card was designed during the Kickstarter, and you can see that, again, that one has limited at the bottom because it is a promo. If we look back at Klin, she has MH as her rarity symbol. If I can remember how cameras work. Nope, I don't. So MH is for Moonlands Hero, and that is every card that's in the decks. That is the rarity of it because it's fixed rarity. The stuff that is in the booster box has actual rarity to it. But let's keep going with the foils. For Kaibar's Teeth, we have another Magi. Always love foil. I don't think I've had many foil Magi in the past, so it's cool to actually get some here. We have Groll and a relic called Moga Boots. The game is very easy to learn how to play. There's quite a bit of strategic depth to it, and you learn very quickly that it doesn't operate along the same sorts of rules that that other card games you might be familiar with do. It is rather different from Magic. It's pretty different from Pokemon. So it's its own thing, which is refreshing. But that is one of the reasons why I am not super good at it, is because I try to bring Magic theory over to it, and it is just not... It is not something you can bring over that easily. Oh, nice. Got another foil Magi. We have Koromar from the Sands of Dresh. One of my favorite regions, but one that apparently causes a fair amount of consternation amongst the community, and is going to be hit with the ban hammer in some way, shape, or form coming up. All right. One of my... Why is that there? Oh, I think Colosset can come in the underneath deck. So, very cool. The Hirons, obvious. Well, I guess it's not obvious on... Hirons are the dragons of the world, and clearly something that was... that super appealed to young me, because I built most of my online persona around it. Even my old gamer tag was taken from the Game Boy Color game, which was a great romp. I have a playthrough up of it on YouTube. You can go check out. I'm probably going to go through it again because there is a like a balance patch, and it also adds in some of the content that was cut from development. So I want to check that out. I haven't played that before. Ooh, I got another foil promo. This one was also designed during the Kickstarter. It's very cool. Oh, so cute. And this is one of my other favorite regions. This is Nar, a frozen tundra type thing. Woohoo. I have Cloud, which is the fire region, and again, unlike Magic, there are 13 quote-unquote colors to this game. And they're all pretty different, and they all vary wildly in power right now. There's just not that many cards. There are only, let's see, we had Base Set, Awakening, Dream's End, Nightmare's Dawn, and Voice of the Storm. So there hasn't been that many sets ever printed. And some of these regions were only just introduced in that last expansion. So there's just not that much balance work that's been put into it. But hopefully, with the next expansion after Trader's Reach, Daybreak, we'll get to see some fresh designs and some takes on solidifying our regional identities. Here we have another foil promo. So I'd say we did pretty well. We've got a fair amount of foil promos. I'll take it. But we'll get into that crinkly crackly booster unbox or wrap. You know the words. Also, one thing I did notice with the cards, you can clearly tell where the foils are. Oop. Foils here on the white versus the darker regular promos. So sleeve your cards. Does not bother me at all because I do sleeve my cards, and I would imagine most people these days do. Anyway, let's get into this. No box toppers. It's not like Magic yet. We'll also notice that in the booster box, we've got 3 regions in it. It has the name Wildlands. So the way we were able to, or the Kickstarter was able to do randomized product at all was because there are so many. I keep saying we, the collective communal we, sorry. And due to the printers, could only have so many cards in a set, right? In a randomized product. So in order to make sure each region got the reprints that it needed, they cut the boxes to 3 regions each and gave them a theme. So this is Wildlands. The other one that's available is called Gloamlight, and it has, let's see, it has the underneath. It has Core, which is around here somewhere. Maybe. There's Core. Those are upside down. So sorry. Core, underneath, and where is it? Bograph. In that one. So that's the one that hopefully I will be getting my hands on next, but I don't have one right now, unfortunately. This one has Weave, Narum, and Paradwin spelled incorrectly on the box, but nowhere else. Should be a Y on Paradwin. Again, upside down. So sorry. Paradwin. So this is like Ocean of Grass, forests, and like deciduous forests and jungles. Open that up. So this is not only cards from Trader's Reach, the newest expansion, but reprints of the most desirable cards from all of the regions. I don't like that. Let's see here. It has all, I think it has all the Trader's Reach cards in it, plus those reprints. So we will end up with quite a few of the Trader's Reach things, I would imagine. Ooh. 10 card packs. Something new to me too. Also, again, check your packaging. Let's see where it is on the booster box. Where's the Animite tab? There it is. So, oh, there it is. Animite. Hang on to that. You can trade it for promos, and some of them are super desirable. There we go. Animite. Cut that out. Anyway. Gosh, it's so wild. I think I was looking at it on the promos. It's so wild in this year to see, come on, focus on 2025. on a MagiNation card is insane for the copyright. You love to see it. But let's get some packs opening. Crinkle, crinkle. And yes, the cards do pass the smell test. Oh, we also have Animite on the booster packs themselves. So save your wrappers, or at least cut those off. But let's get into it. I haven't opened packs of this game for over a decade. Oh, now we can finally show off the rarities. So let's do first cards out. Sneaky Weebo. We have 3 dots for common. Stagadan Charger. Oops, there we go. Bungaloo. I always liked these guys. They're so cute. There's little piles of grass that run away as soon as you look at them. Lahalo. Pardon. Also, the colors are so bright. The aesthetic is one of the major draws to this game. Wedget. Little bunny guy. Ooh, a staple. This is Beam of Light. We do have some what are called universal cards in this set. Can be played by any region. Ooh, a foil rare Grass Hyren, which is nice because I did not win the auction to get this guy. Okay, got a Magi. We've got Zajan, who is really fun because he flips the order of when you gain resources and when you draw cards in the game, which is neat. All right, so this is rares. Magi need to go in a secret stat, so we'll figure it out. Another Magi. We have Miji. Pardwin people. Put you there. Qualon's Quest. The Bug. Show Bug. Now, the spell. Here's our first actual rare. We have Jungle Ebit. Very annoying creature. I'm going to put you down with the Magi. It's fine. And we have Elder Weebo. He's so big. Don't eat wild forest mushrooms. Especially wild forest mushrooms that come on these little dice. Don't do it. He's too happy. Okay. Pack 1's pretty good. You love to see a foil Hyren. But if you have any interest in the game, please come stop by the Discord. I'll put a link in the description. The community is extremely welcoming. And I've had some very fun discussions about all sorts of different things in most of the channels. Say that there are some elements of the community that didn't seem as enthused with the Kickstarter for reasons that I'm not sure I fully agree with. And they like to raise a ruckus about it whenever feedback is sought out, even though nothing can be done about it. Now, decisions were made. The Kickstarter came out as I would call a resounding success. The cards look great. There was some talk of them being a little darker than the original prints. I don't see it here with them in front of me, but I don't have any direct comparators right now. Oop. Yaki's Gauntlets. Squick. Pardon Magi. Got our first Weave Magi, Boasha. Or Boasa. Saying that wrong all my life. Toasted Yayo. And Tropical. Really nice to have another one of these. I've always only ever had one, and it super felt like I wanted more of those in my Pardwin decks. But yeah, there are elements of the community that seem to have this I told you so attitude about a lot of stuff that I don't particularly enjoy, or they also act as if they know better because they were around longer or involved in the original game. It's not fully clear what the relationship is there, to me, but if you can avoid those people, the community's super great. I've had a lot of fun discussions about custom cards, about where the game is going next in terms of mechanics and card development. So come on down if you're interested. There's a really nice way. There's actually a couple good ways to play online. All of them are free. I personally prefer Tabletop Simulator, but we have a foil, Skyla. I don't know. Rare Magi. You love it. But there's a really good workshop item for Tabletop Simulator if you're on Steam. Or you can use a client called Lackey, which is what a lot of the actually, that's where all of the tournaments that were done for balancing purposes were held on Lackey through the Discord. And so people are always willing to play, willing to teach, and so there's just a lot of passion for this game. And what's really interesting to me, that's a nice pull. I'd love to have more Wasperhines. It's one of the only creatures in the game that innately has what we would call in Magic haste. Where was I going? What was I saying? Completely lost. I got totally. Oh, I almost tore off my Animite there. Be careful about that when I'm opening. I got fully distracted by my Wasperhine. Whew. Taproots. That one does seem a little bit darker than I remember that card being. But again, not a deal breaker. It's still a very vibrant green. I think it's probably a little bit darker than how it's showing up on camera. The Pard one, orange, yellow, whatever you want to call it. So nice. A little washed out by the backlighting here. Oof. But yeah, I've actually been playing on Tabletop Simulator with a friend of mine recently, trying to get that, plant the bug, or at least teach the game to somebody else, because I have not played a game of MagiNation in paper since 2001, 2002 maybe. Everything after that has been digital. I played, I was a member, I guess I still am a member of the quote-unquote official MagiNation Guild on a forum called Gaia Online. I'm not afraid to admit it. I was super active on Gaia during middle school because that's what middle schoolers in the mid-aughts did, at least at my school. So yeah, I found a small but active, dedicated community on Gaia Online, and we played MagiNation via forum posts, which is a wild thing to say, but it worked for us. Is that a foil? No. And that was really the only ever exposure I had to what I considered high-level play, because there was one person in particular that none of us could seem to beat. I actually came fairly close to beating them once, and then cast a spell that took away all of my chances of winning, because I am bad, I was young, and even worse at it. Ooh, yay! I was hoping to get a copy of Speary. One of my favorites. Recently had some art commissioned. Oops, sorry, commissioned of her, but not her bright and fun-loving Naroom version, but of her corrupted version. I wish I had the card I could show off, but she's in the other booster box that's out, so I'm really hoping we open one of her when I get that box. Maybe I'll pull the commission up towards the end here. A reason to stick around if you're not all that into it. Oop. I'm not talking too much about the cards themselves, but I think at this point we'll let the art speak for the cards. And if you're interested in the game, I always described it as a game where every deck is some version of a combo deck, because if you're not playing a super synergistic deck, you're just going to get run out of town by everything else. Ooh, Blade Hyran. Yeah. I should have put the foils in a different stack altogether. And that's not to say there aren't aggro decks in the game. There certainly are. They just don't take the shape of what it might look like in Magic or Pokemon or Hearthstone or whatever. Forest Wudge. The original Weebo. Look at it. So cute. Yeah, so cute. Bagala Cub. Oh yeah, if I don't talk about the cards, I don't have to say them, and we don't have to hear me pronounce things probably incorrectly. Ooh, foil. Okay, I'll start pulling the foils aside. I have a foil Rage's Sword. Urcho. Oh, Ichiro. Oh, right, because it's supposed to be a reference to the baseball player. I missed that going on. There's a lot of references in this game. Sorry, like Tedek here is supposed to be top deck, like that's his thing for his name. Nocturne, but every card. There we go. There's one of the pulls you're looking for here. A Forest Hyran. Very nice. I'm remembering. But yeah, every card has flavor text, and there's not only like I would say you can get an idea of what is happening in the story if you're reading all the text. But like I said, there's just a ton of references to things. This card's insane. I didn't ever have it on my radar when I first was introduced to this game, but apparently that card's insane. It's just super efficient at clearing your opponent's board. So you have to respect it. And even regions that, like even non-Paradwin regions, will sometimes play Poison Blue Root because it is that good, even when it costs extra. Bloom. But one of the main differences, another Zajan, between this game and Magic, again, that's going to be my reference point for a lot of these. Another Hyran, yay! So pretty. Is that haste is a much more important concept for your creatures, because it is rare that your creatures, or it is, let's say rare, it's uncommon for your creatures to survive all that often if you're looking to attack with them like directly without doing anything else. Like you can't just play a creature and pass the turn to your opponent without some sort of plan, because that creature is not long for this world. So effects like Warrior's Boots, which we got a foil of, didn't call that out earlier, but yeah, we got a foil of that. Warrior's Boots are very important because they let you get your creature down and attack with it the turn you play it. Another Hyren. Woohoo. We got Weed Hyren. And a regular Grass Hyren. Nice. One more and we have a playset. So yeah, you need a plan. If you're looking to attack with creatures, you need a way to either protect them, which is not as easy to do in this game as something like Magic, because there's no real such thing as instant speed in this game. There are a very, very small number of spells that can be played on your opponent's turn in response to them. Well, not in response, magic term again. When they do something, sometimes you can cast a spell to react to it. That is definitely not the norm. And removal is pretty plentiful in every color. These crushing spells are actually a good example of that. Every color has one. They all cost 4, and they all deal 4 damage. Splitting hairs on what we're calling damage here, but they all deal 4 damage. Look at this guy. This hungry boy. He's going to eat that whole tree. So yeah. But yeah, every crushing spell deals 4 damage for 4 resource energy. And if it kills that creature that it hit, you get some sort of bonus that's related to whatever regent cast it. The other thing is that there's a spell, I guess, most akin to like Murder or Doomblade in Magic. It kills a creature for 5 energy. And so if you're spending more than 5 energy on a creature, you'd better hope it doesn't get shockwaved or have some sort of plan to protect it from shockwave. But yeah, it's just really easy to remove creatures. So you have to play a little bit differently in that regard. Another way this game is different is it doesn't have a resource card. The resource is the energy on your Magi. They gain energy every turn, and they use it to cast their creatures, to cast their spells, and to play their relics. Another Hyren. This one's kind of cool. It looks almost like industrial, which is interesting for a forest one, but they look like smokestacks to me. Boop. I know that probably most of the people watching are, oh no, it's not Kiliana, are well versed with the game, but I want to give some sort of talk about it, how I sees it, for people who might not be. Tree Kinkos. Arguably, I'd think that putting Weave and Naroom in one of the boxes together is always good because they have a high density of very cute creatures. Paradwin's no slouch either, but like weird jungle cat with flowers for head. I mean, it's not cute, but it doesn't come up immediately on my cute radar. Grass Itiki. A lot of text. Another fun thing about this game is that pretty much every effect or power on a card has a name, which is neat. Just, again, adds that extra flavor to the game and how it works. Sometimes you will see an effect come up a lot, and it would be like a regional mechanic, like Weave. Other times you can have effects that are that share a name or very similar names and do similar things but are slightly different. So, but we have at least not gotten to the point where reading the card doesn't explain the card. The worst rules noodles in this game come to timing. You can definitely get into some. You just need to know all of the different words. There's like whenever, when, as. You just have to know what those actually end up meaning. Begala Hunter. Woot! With the exclamation mark as part of his name. This guy's deal is that he loves wasperines, which their whole thing is that they naturally have haste. Or rather, you can play them before you would normally be able to play creatures, which lets them be in play for... Oh, we finally got a rare universal. It lets them be in play to attack. So there's not the concept of like summoning sickness. If you can get a creature into play before your attack step, then it can attack. It doesn't have to have been around for a turn. You just normally can't play creatures until after your attack step. I always loved this little weird bug dinosaur creature when I was first playing the game. It hardly drools at all. Scarlet Song, Lilt, Robe of Petals, another inhibit. I have to do it's weird. I want to hold like this, hold with my left hand, even though I'm left-handed. But it seems like it's easier to do it with the camera this way. Ardonia. Oh, Teysa, which is good because my copy of Teysa got a little beat up over the years. Seaweed Lacinth has First Strike for people who play Magic. Blooming Bracelet. Ooh, and the Hiron Boy. With my namesake in the background there, that is a Monarch Hiron hanging out in the background. Woohoo. Almost halfway done here. Good progress. It's so hard to not throw this stuff away. To remind myself, save it for your Animite. Chasm Gile. Forest Watch. The Weebo. Oon's Scale. Another Weed. Ooh, this one's foil. Nice. Foil Weed Hiring. Very cool. Ichiro's Staff. Drum Solo. A non-rare Hiron. They are out there, folks. Harmony. Oh, that's not where Weed Hiron goes, even though it is a weave creature. It is a dual color creature. Forest Blessing. Seems pretty good. All right. Overgrowth. So we're about halfway through. We should... I'm pretty sure we've seen at least every common at this point. I could be wrong. Zacifer, just a fun little scrunched up lizard, grass lizard thing. Nyrex. Kirsta, played her in my Powered 1 decks. A foil Ushi. Maybe. Here she is. Foil Ushi. Yay, another Tropical Vinoc. I needed one of these. One of Powered 1's mechanics is called Stalk. And basically, it lets you hunt one of your opponent's creatures. And when hunted creatures are attacked, they shrink, are hurt. I don't know how you would look to describe it. they're stressed out so that by the time they get into combat with your creature, they have they've already taken 1 damage. Kind of like flanking in Magic, I guess. So in Paradwin, they have these jungle stalkers like Tropical Vinoc. That's another card that does look a little dark. Pick that back up here for a second. I want to say the original one isn't quite that dark, but you can still tell what's going on, especially once you pick it up and have it in direct light. So still not too concerned about it. But yeah, Jungle Stalkers is always a deck that I've wanted to make work. Don't know if I can or if it's good, but that's what I want to do. Crushing Vines. Again, speaking to regional mechanics, if it kills, then it stalks all your opponent's creatures. So it's a very nice piece for that deck. But it's also just kind of a bonus if you're playing Paradwin but not all in on stalking, because it's just pure upside. Who doesn't want to attack with flanking? So give every one of your creatures that attacks your opponent's stalked creature flanking. Yes, please. For my MagiNation friends who don't play Magic, flanking is a much maligned mechanic where whenever your creature with flanking gets into combat with a creature without flanking, it shrinks the opposing creature before anything else happens. So it's very, very difficult to win fights when you're attacking with flanking. Ooh, new Furlosk art. Very cool. Let's see if we can pull that through. So Furlosk was a promo that you could exchange Animite for back in the day. This is new art though. And so it was kind of hard to get. There weren't that many of them. Or at least, again, I never saw any of these cards in person, so it's not a great measure of them, but it seemed like it held some value. So I've got 2 of the original ones. Fun to look at. But one of the goals of this set is that it equalized everything in these reprints. Like there's promos in it, there's stuff from one of the lowest printed sets, Dream's End, especially Weave was introduced in Dream's End, and there wasn't that much Dream's End made. So if you want to play Weave, you're kind of SOL if you weren't around for Dream's End and didn't snatch everything up. Is that foil? No. Yes? No. Another Tropical Jumbo and another Wasp Brine. All right. One more and we have a playset. Hope all that Foley is picking up. It should. Yeah, it looks like it is. Got our Rock Yayo. I say Yayo, it might be Yajo, but that sounds less good to my ear. So, and again, you can't make fun of people who mispronounce things when they're reading them, because it means they learned that word from reading and not from listening to someone else say it. Tweave. Lassynth, another Weave Mall. So deliberate. Right, hold with the right hand. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've got play sets of the commons and uncommons that we need at this point. Other than Magi, obviously you don't need more than one of any Magi. Well, for the most part, that's true. Baby Furrock, he's so cuddly. Don't you agree, camera? Do you want to show the people? Yeah, he's so cuddly. It's even his power. He's cuddly wuddly. Spell Pulse. be a mess to clean up all those packs. Figure out what I'm going to do with them. Cut the animite out of them, stick them in a box. But we'll start going a little faster. Again, we've seen most of these foil tuck berries. Let's put that over there with the universal rares and other foils. Froxfire. Hey, another Hyron. We hadn't gotten that one yet. Fog Hyron. And Gia's Tome. Yes. Wait a minute. What color is what? Yeah. Alright. Forest Watch. Overgrowth. Tropical Cliff. And say, again, if the purpose of these boxes is to get reprints out into the community so that people can play their favorite regions, it's a mission well done. And it also means with a game where there are so many different colors or decks that people would play, you don't want a booster product that has all 13 of them in there, at least for reprint purposes, right? Like, because then you can only have so many of any given region on the sheet. And if somebody wants to play Cowed, the fire region, all the cards that they open that aren't Cowed don't do anything for them. So what are they supposed to do there? But, ooh, an Iden. Never had you. Nice. Because I think he was a promo, if I'm not mistaken. So at least this way, you can target a region that you play, and at least, generally, a third of the cards that you open are going to be for your region. So, and if you get lucky, like I did, and weave Powered Winner in the same box, then you're super set, and all the Naroom stuff can be trade fodder for people. And just go from there. Sieve? Sieve? I've always said sieve, but I guess it should be sieve. Tuck. Berries. Ooh, Jungle Gile. It's needing one of these guys. Because they can stalk. They can actually mass stalk. One of the areas that we've been having some in-depth discussions of on the Discord is for the next set. That Tuck Berries doesn't go there. What are we doing? For the next set, called Daybreak, the game was starting to explore. It's been finished. It has been designed, but there's no art for it. And it was starting to explore what this game's take on caring about discard would be. Ooh, another Furlosk for our Guardian. And like, would it be counting to a threshold like in Magic? Or can the game care about types of cards like Delirium in Magic? Or like, what does a typal card look like? So it is a thing. So this is a Leaf Chogo. So it is a creature. It is a Naroom creature. It has a starting energy of 4. And because it has 2 words in its name, it is Leaf type and Chogo type. So you could make a card that cares about all of your Chogos, or you could make a card that cares about all of your Leaf creatures, and they would both see Leaf Chogo and count it. Ooh, Kami. This dude's boat is broken. Or was. Oh no, this is new. Isn't it? No, I think that's original one. I don't know. Never had one, so never got to learn it. Another Cly. It's a Jungle Stalker for me. Crushing Grove. Ooh. Empress Gia. Kessia's Flute. So I was brainstorming what different regions might do for their discard mechanics, because as it was printed, the text on some of the Daybreak cards that care about it just want you to have 20 cards in your discard, which it seems like it's been decided is an arbitrary number, is a lot to keep track of in terms of just like bookkeeping during the game. Like counting to 20 to measure stuff is a lot when you're doing it multiple times. Hey, Lyriel's Cape. Finally printed with the relic border. Ooh, this was a promo as well. The Ravage. Wait, what? I think it was. I don't know why it's uncommon, but Countless Blades got swept by that in a playtest game. Or again, this is the kind of the counterpart to Furlosk. It's another promo dual region creature. I got some of them in my binder as well. But yeah, so the design team now mostly feels that counting to 20 is not where we want to be in terms of that mechanic. So I was looking at what that might look like for each different region and decided, of course, you can look at creature typos. You can look at types of cards, but there's only 3 types of cards in this game that would ever be in your deck or discard pile. Spells, creatures, and relics. So that one's a little harder to care about, or at least it's much easier to turn on if you just wanted to have full card types in your graveyard or discard pile, not graveyard. But I was also exploring what you could do. You can look at total starting energies, different starting energies, different costs. It's actually a fair amount of space that can be explored there. I don't necessarily agree that every region should care about the dang, I did it again. The discard pile, at least on the regular. If Daybreak ends up having a really discard-focused theme to it, then sure, every region gets to play, but I would keep it to a subset, just so that it makes playing discard pile disruption have a little bit more of a cost to it. And this game's already got so many silver bullet effects that, like, it's okay. You can have more silver bullets, and there should be a cost to running them. Tropical Hyron, woohoo! Nice. Almost done. This is our second to last pack here. Kind of get to sort all these cards. I love sorting cards. Maybe even bring some of these cards with me to Friday Night Magic, because maybe I'll get to teach this game instead. Khatib. Ooh, got a Nightmare Construct. Cool. Neat. Universal Rare. Ooh, and a Hiron's Call. The other nice thing about these reprint sets is that there's been a fair amount of errata for this game. Can't get to zoom in. So these are now the most recent printings, and they have the most up-to-date rules text on them. So I said earlier that reading the card explains the card. Mostly true, except you have to be up-to-date on errata, and some of the errata are pretty painful. I'm looking at you, River Abaquist. Notably did not get reprinted in Paradwin here. Maybe it'll be in Aroth. I did not look. Don't know the contents of the booster boxes all that well. Everybody loves their hard shell Weebos, though. That's another Pode. Furred Stone. Keto. Hey, we got a Bulbon too. Very nice. That makes a playset for me. Woohoo. And Pruitt. Very nice. Okay. I've covered my mouse. Second here. There it is. But yeah, very nice. Super happy. Again, just being able to open fresh packs of MagiNation in 2025 is insane. And I'm so glad that we got here. And we're ahead of schedule even, which is awesome. Like the Kickstarter people have been so like transparent with the process and everything. Oh, see, look, you can pick the foil out. Let's see if it'll show up here on camera. The foil's got the white. You can just barely see it in the middle of the stack. See if I can cut to it. Yep. So you can pick the foils out, looking at them side by side. Can we do it again? Let's see. Didn't see any in there. Let's check in a room. Don't see any in there either. Okay. I think that's got something to do with like the core, the black core of the card versus others, but again, just play sleeves. It's not a big deal, folks. And like, just don't be a jerk when you play. Like, if you're playing unsleeved, don't focus in on it. Anyway, cool. Very happy with where we ended up. Hopefully, we'll be doing another box break once we get to Gloamlight, once that is available for me to get my hands on it. And even more exciting is when we can unlock the remaining 2 booster sets, because I would love to get my hands on some more Gnar cards. But that's in Hailfrost reprint set. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll definitely do more MagiNation content as I get more stuff to open. Might even record some games if I feel up to it, and if my friends are up to it, for playing on Tabletop Simulator. It's a little bit more exciting than watching a spreadsheet simulator type program. Plus, then if I lose, I can always just flip the table and walk away. But yeah, that'll do it for me today, whenever. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch y'all next time. Bye-bye.